Okay, guys. So now we can use the same bridge, which will help us finding the impedance. The same bridge we can use with AC supply, so that we can find out the unknown impedance, whether we have RL kind of unknown impedance, or RC, or maybe combination of this both L and C's, because in both cases we are going to have the current uh, phase difference between voltage and current. So although this the matching of impedance is quite difficult in this case, but let's discuss a little bit. So as we have Z1, Z3, Z2, and then Zx, which is the unknown impedance. And the principle is same, that we have to vary the ratio, and if the ratio of Z2 and Zx is matched with Z1 and Z3 ratio, then the galvanometer reading is going to be at the null position. So what we are going to do in this case is that the Z1 along with its phase angle. So this is polar form of the impedance. Z1 magnitude and theta 1 indicates its phase angle. Then we have Zx with respect to theta x, the magnitude of unknown impedance and phase angle of the unknown phase difference of the Zx. Then similarly on the other side we will have Z2 along with its phase, Z3 and along with its phase. So we can multiply the magnitudes, and then phase are going to be added, so that we can get the overall magnitude and phase in single polar form. Similarly, on the other side, Z2 is going to multiply by Z3, and the phase are going to be added. Okay? So to balance the bridge, we should have balance not only the magnitudes but also the phase angles. So how we can check whether the bridge is balanced or not, and we can check that with the help of magnitudes. So Z1 multiplied by Zx must equal to Z2 multiplied by Z3. And the phase angle, they must be equal to sum of the phase angles. Theta 1 plus theta x must equal to theta 2 with theta 3. Sum of these two must be equal to theta 1 and theta x. So now let's first go through the impedance triangle, so that we overall understand how to manipulate the real parts, the active parts, and how we can find out the overall impedance. So we basically know all these, just hereby we are going to just recall all the components. So in impedance triangle, basically the This side indicates Z, whereas the x-axis and the y-axis, they represent resistance and reactance respectively. So cos theta multiplied by Z is the base or x-axis or the resistance of the impedance triangle, and Z theta multiplied by sine, Z multiplied by sine theta is going to be the reactance and y-axis of the impedance triangle. So as we know from triangular calculation that the real parts and the imaginary parts square, and their under root gives us the magnitude, and whereas the tan inverse and phase angle we can find by tan inverse of reactance over resistance. So with this we can find out the magnitude and we can find out the theta. So in case if we have impedance combined sort of RLC circuit, then we will have basically two types of reactances combined together. One reactance is of inductive reactance and the other is capacitive reactance. So as we know, inductive reactance is 2 pi FL, so J omega L, whereas XC is 1 by J omega C or J 2 pi FC, where F is the source or the supply frequency that usually for us is 50 Hertz, and for Europe and some countries that is 60 Hertz. So now in case of inductive reactance and capacitive reactance, we will have resultantly, because Xc is coming with the minus J, we can write it down like minus J over omega C, and then we can add it with the help with the inductance, inductive reactance, and therefore the sum of both reactances square with the real resistance reactance square root, that is going to be the total impedance if we have RLC type of impedance together. In case of just inductive reactance, inductive load or capacitive reactance, they are going to be like this. So this is RLC circuit, and then based on, depending upon the certain reactance, we will have the same. So therefore now what happens in case of voltage and current? So it could be if we have capacitive reactance, then current is going to lead the voltage, and in case we have inductive reactance, then current is going to lag the voltage by the phase angle theta. So keeping these things in mind, we can find out the example. So we have known impedances, three known impedances, Z1, Z2, and Z3, and we can find the fourth unknown impedance, and we are considering that the bridge is at balance. So there is no current flow within the detector, within the galvanometer. So now we can find out the value of Zx in polar form. First, what we need to do is we have to convert the polar forms to convert the value into polar form, and then we will have magnitudes and phase for all impedance. And in this, you can find that there is no angle attached with the Z2, so therefore it is purely resistive impedance. And Z1 is with positive phase angle, so we can say this is inductive impedance. And then we have V3 also with positive J, so there is also inductive impedance in this case. So now we can find out the value of Gx by first comparing the ratios. So we have Z2 multiplied by Z3 divided by Z1. So the magnitude of Gx must be 237. Whereas the phase angle, sum of phase angles Z1 and Zx must be equal to the sum of phase angles of Z2 and Z3. So therefore we can find the value of unknown impedance. Its phase angle is going to be 11.6 degrees. So this is how we can find out or calculate, if we already know that the bridge is at balance, already balance is appeared. So similarly, we can again use a differential amplifier to increase the smaller variations, and with that we can increase the sensitivity of the balancing, and so that we know the accuracy is higher in case of if we find the unknown value of the impedance. So because in this case we have AC waveform, so therefore we can use half-wave rectifier based differential amplifier, so that we can have the DC value passing through the galvanometer. And with this diode, we have also used voltage, a variable resistor, so that we can control the maximum peak of the full scale deflection. So let's now find out the unknown capacitance using capacitance bridge. So what is this capacitance bridge is? Basically, we have supply, AC supply, and with this AC supply, we have variable resistances R1, R2, both are variable, and then C1 is a fixed value, and whereas C unknown Cx is also a fixed value. So therefore, we can find its we can balance the ratio bit first, and then we find out whether the current through the galvanometer is 0 or not. So ratio in this case is going to be like this. So R1 divided by Cx, or if we, let's say, consider any side, let's assume this side is positive, this is negative for first half cycle, and then it's on the other way around. So therefore, from previous logic, we can write it down as like this: R2 divided by R1. So with the help of current flow, so these, if there is no current flow here, then these two resistances, they are in parallel, so their ratio is going to be like this. And on the other side, we have a ratio of Cx over C1, and similarly, we can write it down in the same way. No,
Sorry guys, electricity gone. So फिर हम ये जो टॉपिक है ये इसको नेक्स्ट क्लास में कवर कर लेंगे, ठीक है जी।
राइट सर।
सिर्फ मुझे यहाँ पे अटेंडेंस जो है वो डाउनलोड करने पता नहीं होती है कि नहीं। अटेंडेंस डाउनलोड नहीं हो रही, जस्ट लाइट आ गई।
Oh guys, I downloaded the attendance list, so you can now leave the class. We'll continue next class.